Welcome to Freema Audiobooks, a place where growth is built from the inside out, where strength is developed quietly through discipline, and where resilience becomes the foundation for lasting success. If you have ever faced pressure, setbacks, criticism, or self-doubt and wondered how to remain steady when circumstances feel overwhelming, this audiobook was created to help you strengthen your mind and build the inner power required to endure, adapt, and rise stronger. Today's audiobook is titled Mental Strength, Train Resilience and Inner Power, and it is a structured journey into understanding how resilience is developed, how emotional control strengthens decision-making, and how inner power allows you to remain calm, focused, and determined even during adversity. Throughout this audiobook, you will explore how to reframe challenges, regulate emotion, build disciplined thinking patterns, and cultivate a mindset that remains steady under pressure rather than reactive to difficulty. Before we begin, we invite you to subscribe to Freema Audiobooks like this audiobook and share it with someone who wants to strengthen their resilience and mental discipline, because true power begins in the mind. Before we begin strengthening your resilience and inner power step by step, it is important to understand that this audiobook is structured into 8 progressive chapters, each one carefully designed to help you understand mental strength, regulate emotion, build discipline under pressure, and cultivate a resilient mindset that remains steady regardless of circumstance. Each chapter builds upon the previous one so that mental toughness becomes not a temporary reaction to difficulty, but a trained internal foundation that supports clarity, confidence, and calm strength in every area of life. Chapter 1. Understanding Mental Strength, the Foundation of Resilience and Inner Power. In this chapter we explore what mental strength truly means, how resilience is developed rather than inherited, why emotional regulation is central to inner power, and how understanding these principles provides the foundation for steady confidence and long-term endurance. Mental strength is not the absence of emotion or vulnerability, but the ability to remain stable, thoughtful, and purposeful despite emotional intensity or external pressure that might otherwise disrupt clarity in decision-making. Emotional intensity challenges focus. Challenged focus weakens judgment. Weakened judgment increases impulsive reactions. Impulsive reactions create regret. Regret undermines confidence. Understanding emotional patterns restores awareness. Awareness strengthens control. Control stabilizes response. Stabilized response builds resilience. Resilience forms the core of mental strength. Resilience is developed through repeated exposure to manageable difficulty because overcoming small challenges gradually increases tolerance for discomfort and strengthens confidence in your ability to endure pressure without retreating. Managed difficulty builds endurance. Endurance strengthens belief. Strengthened belief reinforces courage. Courage sustains effort. Effort expands capacity. Expanded capacity deepens resilience. Resilience stabilizes identity. Mental strength also depends on perspective, because the meaning assigned to adversity determines whether a challenge is perceived as threat or opportunity for growth. Threat perception amplifies fear. Amplified fear narrows thinking. Narrow thinking weakens strategy. Reframing adversity restores balance. Balanced perspective strengthens clarity. Clarity supports intelligent response. Intelligent response reinforces resilience. Emotional regulation plays a critical role in inner power because the ability to pause before reacting allows reason to guide action rather than temporary emotion. Pause restores control. Restored control protects clarity. Protected clarity improves decisions. Improved decisions reinforce confidence. Confidence strengthens composure. Composure supports resilience. Another essential component of mental strength is responsibility, because accepting ownership of choices and reactions eliminates the tendency to blame circumstances, which weakens personal authority and internal growth. Responsibility strengthens agency. Agency reinforces empowerment. Empowerment stabilizes identity. Identity strengthens discipline. Discipline sustains resilience. Self-awareness strengthens resilience because recognizing internal triggers, habitual thought patterns, and emotional reactions allows intentional adjustment rather than unconscious repetition of limiting behavior. Awareness interrupts negative cycles. Interrupted cycles restore clarity. Responsibility strengthens agency. Agency reinforces empowerment. Empowerment stabilizes identity. Identity strengthens discipline. Discipline sustains resilience. Self-awareness strengthens resilience because recognizing internal triggers, habitual thought patterns, and emotional reactions allows intentional adjustment rather than unconscious repetition of limiting behavior. Awareness interrupts negative cycles. Interrupted cycles restore clarity. Clarity improves self-control. Self-control strengthens inner power. Inner power deepens stability. Mental strength is reinforced by disciplined thinking because structured reflection and rational evaluation prevent emotional exaggeration from distorting reality during stressful moments. Rational evaluation reduces overwhelm. Reduced overwhelm stabilizes emotion. Stabilized emotion supports strategic action. Strategic action reinforces confidence. Confidence strengthens resilience. Ultimately, Understanding mental strength provides the framework for training resilience intentionally rather than hoping it appears automatically during difficulty. This chapter establishes that inner power is cultivated through awareness, perspective, responsibility, emotional regulation, and disciplined thought, ensuring that resilience becomes a steady internal force rather than a temporary response to pressure. Now that you understand what mental strength truly means and how resilience is cultivated intentionally rather than inherited passively, the next step is learning how to regulate emotion under pressure, because inner power is tested most clearly when circumstances intensify. In this chapter, we explore how emotional control stabilizes thinking. Chapter 2. Emotional control under pressure, staying calm when it matters most. In this chapter, we explore how emotional regulation protects clarity under stress, why composure strengthens resilience, and how training your response to pressure allows you to remain steady and strategic when circumstances become demanding. Pressure magnifies emotional response because heightened stakes activate instinctive reactions designed for immediate survival rather than careful reasoning, which can distort perception and accelerate impulsive decisions. Heightened emotion narrows perspective. Narrow perspective weakens analysis. Weakened analysis increases error. Increased error fuels frustration. Frustration intensifies emotion further. Recognizing this cycle restores awareness. Awareness strengthens pause. Pause protects clarity. Protected clarity stabilizes response. Stabilized response strengthens resilience. Emotional control begins with awareness of physiological signals because tension in the body, accelerated breathing, and racing thoughts often precede reactive behavior that undermines thoughtful decision-making. Bodily awareness interrupts impulse. Interrupted impulse restores control. Restored control stabilizes thinking. Stable thinking improves judgment. Improved judgment reinforces confidence. Confidence supports calm presence. Controlled breathing serves as a practical anchor during stress because deliberate regulation of breath signals safety to the nervous system and reduces the intensity of emotional escalation. Regulated breathing lowers tension. Lower tension preserves clarity. Preserved clarity supports logic. Logic improves decision quality. Quality decisions reinforce composure. Composure strengthens resilience. Reframing pressure as challenge rather than threat shifts mental response because interpreting stress as opportunity for growth reduces fear and increases strategic engagement. Constructive interpretation reduces anxiety. Reduced anxiety stabilizes focus. Stable focus enhances performance. Performance reinforces confidence. Confidence sustains calm authority. Emotional control also depends on disciplined self-talk because internal dialogue shapes perception, and replacing catastrophic thinking with rational evaluation prevents emotional exaggeration. Rational dialogue restores perspective. Perspective reduces overwhelm. Reduced overwhelm stabilizes emotion. Stabilized emotion supports reason. Reason strengthens resilience. Delaying reaction strengthens power because choosing to pause before responding allows emotion to settle and thought to regain balance, preventing unnecessary conflict or regretful decisions. Pause preserves dignity. Preserved dignity strengthens self-respect. Self-respect reinforces discipline. Discipline stabilizes emotional control. Emotional control strengthens resilience. Practicing composure and smaller daily frustrations builds tolerance for larger challenges because resilience grows through repetition of calm response rather than dramatic displays of force. Small victories strengthen belief. Strengthened belief reinforces discipline. Discipline supports repetition. Repetition builds endurance. Endurance deepens resilience. Ultimately, emotional control under pressure transforms stress from a destabilizing force into a sharpening tool, allowing mental clarity and strategic thinking to remain intact even during intense situations. This chapter reinforces that true inner power is not loud or reactive, but calm, deliberate, and steady, ensuring that resilience becomes visible through composed action rather than emotional volatility. As emotional control strengthens your ability to remain calm under pressure, the next dimension of mental strength emerges when adversity becomes unavoidable, because resilience is not fully developed in comfort but refined through challenge. In this chapter, we explore how setbacks can be transformed into strength, how perspective reshapes hardship, and how adversity becomes one of the most powerful training grounds for inner power. Chapter 3. Resilience through adversity, turning setbacks into strength. In this chapter, we explore how adversity strengthens mental resilience, why setbacks are essential for growth rather than signs of failure, and how reframing hardship transforms difficulty into a catalyst for deeper inner power and long-term development. Adversity disrupts comfort and challenges identity because when plans fail or expectations collapse, the mind often interprets the event as personal inadequacy rather than situational difficulty. Personalization magnifies pain. Magnified pain weakens confidence. Weakened confidence reduces effort. Reduced effort slows recovery. Slowed recovery intensifies doubt. Reframing setbacks restores balance. Restored balance strengthens perspective. Perspective supports resilience. Resilience transforms adversity into growth. Setbacks reveal weaknesses in strategy, preparation, or mindset, and when viewed objectively, they provide valuable information that strengthens future performance rather than permanently diminishing belief. Objective analysis reduces emotion. Reduced emotion clarifies insight. Clear insight improves adjustment. Adjustment strengthens capability. Strengthened capability builds confidence. Confidence reinforces resilience. Resilience grows when discomfort is tolerated rather than avoided because escaping challenge prevents the psychological adaptation required to expand capacity and strengthen endurance. Tolerated discomfort builds tolerance. Increased tolerance strengthens endurance. Endurance stabilizes discipline. Discipline supports continued action. Continued action accelerates recovery. Recovery reinforces belief. Another essential principle is separating outcome from identity because failure in a specific attempt does not define personal worth or long-term potential. Yet without this distinction, setbacks can distort self-perception. Clear distinction protects identity. Protected identity stabilizes confidence. Confidence supports renewed effort. Renewed effort strengthens progress. Progress rebuilds momentum. Momentum deepens resilience. Adversity also strengthens creativity because unexpected obstacles force new strategies, deeper problem-solving, and adaptive thinking that comfort rarely demands. Forced adaptation sharpens awareness. Sharpened awareness improves flexibility. Flexibility strengthens capability. Capability enhances confidence. Confidence sustains perseverance. Support during adversity strengthens resilience because guidance, mentorship, or encouragement provides perspective that prevents isolation from magnifying discouragement unnecessarily. External support restores hope. Restored hope strengthens resolve. Resolve supports disciplined action. Disciplined action accelerates recovery. Recovery reinforces resilience. Reflecting on past challenges reinforces belief because recognizing previous victories over difficulty strengthens confidence in your ability to overcome current obstacles. Past success builds trust. Trust stabilizes mindset. Stable mindset protects focus. Focus strengthens execution. Execution rebuilds progress. Ultimately, resilience through adversity transforms hardship into a training ground rather than a stopping point, ensuring that challenges refine rather than weaken your inner power. This chapter reinforces that setbacks are not signals to retreat, but opportunities to strengthen discipline, perspective, endurance, and self-belief, shaping mental strength through experience rather than theory. As resilience grows through adversity and setbacks become sources of strength rather than discouragement, the next level of mental power emerges in the discipline of thought itself, because the quality of your internal dialogue ultimately shapes your perception, confidence, and action. In this chapter, we explore how mastering your thoughts strengthens emotional stability, how structured thinking protects clarity, and how disciplined internal language builds lasting inner power. Chapter 4. Discipline of Thought, Mastering Your Internal Dialogue. In this chapter, we explore how internal dialogue shapes resilience, why disciplined thinking protects emotional stability, and how consciously directing your thoughts strengthens mental clarity, confidence, and long-term psychological endurance. Thoughts influence perception, and perception shapes emotional response, meaning that unmanaged internal dialogue can distort reality and amplify difficulty beyond its objective weight. Negative assumptions magnify obstacles. Magnified obstacles increase stress. Increased stress weakens clarity. Weakened clarity reduces effective action. Disciplined thought interrupts exaggeration. Interrupted exaggeration restores balance. Balanced thinking strengthens perspective. Perspective supports resilience. Resilience deepens inner power. Internal criticism often masquerades as motivation, yet excessive self-judgment weakens confidence and creates hesitation that undermines performance during challenging situations. Harsh self-talk erodes belief. Eroded belief reduces courage. Reduced courage weakens initiative. Replacing criticism with constructive evaluation restores growth. Constructive evaluation strengthens confidence. Confidence stabilizes action. Stabilized action reinforces discipline. The discipline of thought requires awareness because without noticing recurring negative patterns, the mind defaults to habitual interpretations shaped by past experience or fear rather than present reality. Awareness reveals distortion. Revealed distortion allows correction. Corrected thought strengthens clarity. Clarity improves decisions. Improved decisions reinforce confidence. Confidence strengthens resilience. Reframing difficulty strengthens psychological endurance because interpreting challenge as opportunity rather than threat reduces emotional intensity and increases strategic engagement. Positive reframing reduces fear. Reduced fear stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion supports reason. Reason strengthens effective action. Effective action reinforces belief. Focused thinking strengthens resilience because concentrating on controllable factors reduces helplessness and preserves mental energy that might otherwise be wasted on uncontrollable circumstances. Control strengthens agency. Agency reinforces empowerment. Empowerment stabilizes identity. Stable identity deepens inner power. Inner power sustains resilience. Another powerful tool is intentional gratitude, because recognizing existing strengths and opportunities counters the mind's natural bias toward threat detection and strengthens emotional balance. Gratitude restores perspective. Restored perspective stabilizes emotion. Stabilized emotion supports clarity. Clarity improves judgment. Judgment reinforces discipline. Mental rehearsal strengthens confidence, because visualizing calm and capable responses to anticipated difficulty prepares the mind to respond constructively rather than react impulsively when challenges arise. Preparation builds readiness. Readiness reduces anxiety. Reduced anxiety preserves clarity. Clarity strengthens composure. Composure deepens resilience. Ultimately, mastering your internal dialogue transforms mental strength from reactive endurance into proactive clarity, ensuring that thoughts support growth rather than undermine stability. This chapter reinforces that inner power begins with disciplined thinking, and when your internal narrative becomes steady, rational, and constructive, resilience becomes deeply rooted and consistently reliable. As disciplined thinking strengthens your internal dialogue and stabilizes your emotional response, the next dimension of mental strength emerges in endurance, because resilience is not proven in a single difficult moment but in the ability to sustain effort across extended periods of challenge. In this chapter, we explore how grit is developed, how long-term endurance strengthens identity, and how sustained disciplined effort transforms temporary strength into lasting inner power. Chapter 5. Endurance and Grit, Sustaining Effort Over Time. In this chapter we explore how endurance strengthens mental resilience, why grit determines long-term success more than talent, and how sustained disciplined effort builds inner power that remains steady across seasons of difficulty and growth. Endurance is the capacity to continue meaningful effort despite fatigue, delay, or repeated obstacles, and without it, even the strongest initial determination can fade before goals are realized. Initial motivation creates movement. Movement sparks progress. Progress feels rewarding at first, yet obstacles inevitably appear. Obstacles test resolve. Tested resolve reveals endurance. Endurance sustains effort. Sustained effort compounds growth. Compounded growth builds achievement. Grit differs from intensity because intensity often appears dramatic and visible, while grit operates quietly through repeated disciplined action long after external praise or excitement has diminished. Quiet repetition builds strength. Strength stabilizes identity. Stable identity reinforces discipline. Discipline sustains persistence. Persistence deepens resilience. Resilience strengthens inner power. Fatigue is inevitable during long-term pursuit, yet mental strength determines whether fatigue becomes a signal to abandon effort or an invitation to adjust pace while preserving direction. Adjusted pacing protects momentum. Protected momentum sustains progress. Sustained progress rebuilds energy. Rebuilt energy reinforces commitment. Commitment strengthens grit. Another critical element of endurance is emotional regulation, because frustration during slow progress can weaken discipline unless managed through perspective and long-term vision. Perspective reduces discouragement. Reduced discouragement stabilizes mood. Stable mood preserves clarity. Clarity strengthens strategy. Strong strategy accelerates progress. Long-term effort builds confidence because repeated follow-through reinforces belief in your ability to withstand discomfort and remain committed despite uncertainty. Consistent effort builds trust. Trust strengthens identity. Identity stabilizes discipline. Discipline sustains perseverance. Perseverance deepens resilience. Support systems enhance endurance because accountability and encouragement reduce isolation and strengthen commitment during extended challenges that might otherwise feel overwhelming. Encouragement restores motivation. Restored motivation supports effort. Effort sustains progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief strengthens grit. Celebrating incremental progress reinforces endurance because acknowledging small victories strengthens morale and protects long-term consistency from discouragement. Recognition builds satisfaction. Satisfaction fuels momentum. Momentum sustains repetition. Repetition compounds growth. Growth validates perseverance. Ultimately, endurance and grit transform temporary strength into lasting resilience, ensuring that effort continues long after initial enthusiasm fades. This chapter reinforces that mental strength is proven through sustained disciplined action, and when endurance becomes part of your identity, long-term achievement becomes not only possible but inevitable. As endurance and grit strengthen your ability to persist over time, the next layer of mental strength develops through self-confidence, because sustained effort without inner belief eventually weakens under doubt or external criticism. In this chapter, we explore how self-confidence is cultivated intentionally, how inner authority stabilizes decisions, and how trusting your strength reinforces resilience in moments of uncertainty. Chapter 6. Self-confidence and inner authority, trusting your strength. In this chapter, we explore how self-confidence is built through disciplined action, why inner authority strengthens resilience, and how trusting your judgment stabilizes mental strength during challenge, criticism, and uncertainty. Self-confidence is not arrogance or blind optimism, but the quiet assurance that you can handle difficulty with composure and learn from experience without losing your sense of direction or worth. Quiet assurance stabilizes emotion. Stabilized emotion protects clarity. Protected clarity improves judgment. Improved judgment reinforces belief. Belief strengthens identity. Identity supports discipline. Discipline sustains resilience. Confidence grows through evidence because each act of follow-through, each recovered setback, and each moment of controlled response during pressure reinforces belief in your capacity to endure and adapt. Evidence builds trust. Trust stabilizes mindset. Stable mindset strengthens action. Action reinforces capability. Capability deepens confidence. Inner authority strengthens mental resilience because when you rely excessively on external validation, criticism or lack of praise can destabilize motivation and weaken resolve. External dependency creates volatility. Volatility weakens stability. Building internal validation restores balance. Balanced perspective strengthens discipline. Discipline protects consistency. Another essential aspect of confidence is accepting imperfection because mental strength is not about flawless execution but about steady growth despite mistakes. Acceptance reduces fear. Reduced fear encourages action. Action builds experience. Experience strengthens skill. Skill reinforces confidence. Trusting your judgment strengthens clarity because self-doubt fragments thinking and delays action, while measured confidence allows decisive and thoughtful responses even during ambiguity. Decisive thinking accelerates progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief stabilizes discipline. Discipline sustains resilience. Confidence is also strengthened by preparation because competence reduces anxiety and enhances calm. Authority in challenging environments. Preparation builds readiness. Readiness reduces hesitation. Reduced hesitation strengthens composure. Composure deepens resilience. Resilience reinforces identity. Maintaining integrity strengthens inner authority because acting in alignment with values builds self-respect and stabilizes mental strength during criticism or adversity. Integrity builds trust within. Internal trust strengthens identity. Identity stabilizes behavior. Stable behavior reinforces resilience. Ultimately, self-confidence and inner authority solidify mental strength by anchoring resilience in trust, competence, and integrity rather than external approval. This chapter reinforces that when you trust your ability to endure, adapt, and grow, your inner power becomes steady and dependable, allowing you to move forward with calm determination regardless of external fluctuation. The next transformation occurs when mental strength becomes visible in everyday behavior rather than only in major moments of adversity. In this chapter, we explore how to apply resilience consistently in daily life, how small disciplined responses build durable toughness, and how mental strength becomes a stable way of operating rather than an occasional reaction. Chapter 7. Mental toughness in daily life, applying strength consistently. In this chapter, we explore how mental toughness is practiced in ordinary situations, why daily discipline reinforces resilience more effectively than rare dramatic effort, and how consistent application of inner strength transforms character over time. Mental toughness is built in ordinary moments because daily frustrations, minor disappointments, and routine pressures provide repeated opportunities to practice composure and discipline. Response without dramatic intensity. Small frustrations test patience. Tested patience strengthens tolerance. Strengthens tolerance stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion supports clarity. Clarity improves decision-making. Improved decisions reinforce discipline. Discipline compounds resilience. Resilience deepens inner power. Responding calmly to minor inconvenience trains emotional control because repeated measured reactions build neural pathways that make composure more automatic during larger challenges. Repeated calm responses reduce impulsivity. Reduced impulsivity strengthens self-control. Self-control stabilizes behavior. Stable behavior reinforces identity. Identity strengthens mental strength. Consistency in routine builds toughness because honoring commitments even when motivation fades strengthens reliability and reinforces the belief that effort is not conditional upon comfort. Reliability builds trust. Trust stabilizes confidence. Confidence supports perseverance. Perseverance deepens resilience. Resilience strengthens identity. Maintaining discipline during boredom strengthens endurance because mental strength is often tested not by crisis but by monotony, where the absence of excitement tempts disengagement. Boredom challenges focus. Sustained focus builds endurance. Endurance stabilizes discipline. Discipline sustains repetition. Repetition compounds growth. Constructive response to criticism strengthens resilience because receiving feedback without emotional collapse reinforces inner authority and protects long-term confidence. Balanced response reduces defensiveness. Reduced defensiveness strengthens growth. Growth improves capability. Capability reinforces confidence. Confidence stabilizes mental strength. Managing daily stress effectively strengthens clarity because structured routines for recovery, reflection, and focus prevent cumulative fatigue from weakening discipline. Recovery restores energy. Restored energy supports composure. Composure strengthens performance. Performance reinforces belief. Belief sustains resilience. Practicing gratitude and perspective daily reinforces emotional stability, because recognizing progress and opportunity reduces negativity bias and strengthens optimism during ordinary stress. Gratitude restores balance. Balanced mindset stabilizes clarity. Clarity strengthens action. Action reinforces identity. Identity deepens resilience. Ultimately, mental toughness in daily life transforms resilience from a theoretical ideal into a lived habit, ensuring that strength is expressed consistently through calm response, disciplined effort, and steady composure. This chapter reinforces that inner power is not reserved for extraordinary moments, but developed quietly through everyday choices that strengthen stability, patience, and unwavering commitment. With resilience built through adversity, emotional control strengthened under pressure, disciplined thinking mastered, endurance cultivated, confidence stabilized, and daily toughness practiced consistently, the final step is integration, where mental strength becomes a defining characteristic rather than a temporary skill. In this final chapter, we explore how to live with sustained resilience and how inner power shapes long-term success, leadership, and personal growth. Chapter 8. Living with Inner Power, Sustaining Mental Strength for Life. In this chapter, we explore how to integrate resilience into identity permanently, why sustained mental strength compounds over years, and how living with inner power transforms adversity into opportunity and uncertainty into growth. Living with inner power means approaching life with calm confidence and measured response, rather than reactive emotion, ensuring that challenges are met with clarity instead of fear. Calm confidence stabilizes thinking. Stabilized thinking improves decisions. Improved decisions strengthen outcomes. Strong outcomes reinforce belief. Belief deepens resilience. Sustained mental strength compounds because repeated disciplined responses to difficulty gradually reshape identity and reinforce the belief that adversity can be managed without loss of composure or direction. Repeated composure builds trust. Trust stabilizes mindset. Stable mindset supports perseverance. Perseverance compounds growth. Long-term resilience strengthens leadership because calm authority during pressure builds credibility and inspires confidence in others. Calm leadership builds trust. Trust strengthens influence. Influence reinforces responsibility. Responsibility deepens discipline. Discipline sustains resilience. Maintaining reflection strengthens inner power because evaluating challenges, responses, and growth reinforces awareness and prevents stagnation. Reflection restores perspective. Perspective sharpens insight. Insight improves strategy. Strategy strengthens confidence. Confidence stabilizes identity. Resilience also supports ambition because when fear of failure is reduced, willingness to pursue meaningful goals increases without paralyzing hesitation. Reduced fear encourages action. Action builds experience. Experience strengthens capability. Capability reinforces confidence. Confidence deepens inner power. Ultimately, living with inner power transforms mental strength into a lifelong advantage, ensuring that resilience, clarity, composure, and disciplined thinking remain steady across changing seasons and evolving responsibilities. This final chapter reinforces that mental strength is not a temporary response to difficulty, but a cultivated foundation that supports sustained growth, confident leadership, and enduring personal achievement. As this audiobook comes to a close, it becomes clear that mental strength is not a single trait or dramatic display of toughness, but a disciplined integration of resilience, emotional control, structured thinking, endurance, confidence, and consistent daily application. Throughout these 8 chapters, you have explored how resilience is built intentionally, how emotional composure protects clarity under pressure, how adversity refines strength rather than weakens it, how disciplined thought stabilizes perspective, how grit sustains long-term effort, how self-confidence reinforces inner authority, how daily toughness is practiced in ordinary moments, and how integrating all these principles transforms mental strength into a lifelong advantage. When these elements operate together, inner power becomes steady, reliable, and deeply rooted, allowing you to respond to challenge with calm determination rather than reactive emotion. If this audiobook helped you strengthen your resilience, sharpen your mindset, or build greater inner power, we invite you to subscribe to Frema audiobooks like this audiobook and share it with someone who wants to develop mental strength and emotional resilience, because growth becomes stronger when it is practiced consistently and shared intentionally. We also encourage you to leave a comment and tell us which chapter resonated with you most or what principle you are committed to applying in your daily life, as your engagement helps this channel continue creating powerful audiobooks designed to support clarity, discipline, and long-term personal growth. Thank you for listening to Frema audiobooks, and remember that true strength is not measured by the absence of difficulty, but by your ability to remain steady, focused, and resilient in the face of it.